All right, Chris, what's up? I'm so excited that you're here to chat. You have been with you were with the Vol for like a super long time. I remember our call like it was yesterday. Your very first call. Wow, I know, crazy.
For sure.
So why don't you kind of chat about like what made you wanted to get started with Evolve like initially?
I think it was you and I had a first conversation kind of just over Facebook Messenger. I was looking for information. I'd had a lot of experience with lifting and that kind of stuff, but I didn't have a lot of experience with nutrition. I didn't really know anything about calorie count, macro breakdowns. How are you supposed to figure out where you're supposed to start or any of that stuff? And I was kind of hoping to start a weight loss journey, and I really appreciated that you were able to talk to me for like a couple days before you even brought up coaching me or any of that kind of stuff. You were open to just, sharing some knowledge and kind of helping me get a foothold before we even talked about any of the other stuff. And that kind of, I don't know, left a good feeling for me, and it made me kind of more eager to continue talking to you. So I appreciated that.
Yeah, of course. That's cool. That's cool that you said that. Yeah, I mean, at first I think like we all just want to know that we can help. You know what I mean? And so
For sure.
definitely knew we could help you for sure. So you came on, you decided to pull the trigger, take action. And what happened? What happened throughout your whole time coaching with us? What sort of successes have you had?
Several. I really, there's just a bunch, but I mean, it was I think like 2.5 years total. I was with you guys. Obviously with Coach Jen, and her and I kind of had a conversation about, what are your kind of immediate goals? And it was, I wanted to lose some weight and get a little healthier and that kind of stuff, especially at a young age. And then she goes, what's like a pipe, like the biggest dream you think you could have? And I kind of jokingly was like, man, what if I stepped on stage? That'd be kind of cool. I've always been a big fan of the bodybuilding community and that kind of stuff, but it always kind of seemed like, there's no way that's possible. Those guys are, 1% of 1% kind of thing. And she was like, no, we can totally do that. So we did that. So
You
yeah,
you did that. You crushed it. Yes.
we
Oh
did.
my gosh. That was a crazy time. That was like Jen had her baby, and I was like, oh my
For
God.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, it was. It's like a week before he was born, and she's texting in, checking in on me and that kind of stuff. It was crazy. It was cool.
Yeah, you essentially got us both as coaches that week.
Indeed, I did. Yeah.
That was fun. You also did a powerlifting meet as well.
I did. So it was I did that in the middle. It was like a stair step goal for me. It was kind of it was hard, I think, to just, oh, I'm gonna get a six pack or whatever. I'm gonna step on it.
Right.
We knew that was gonna be like a 2-year goal, and we knew that was gonna be a while. And it's kind of hard when you have those long-term goals to keep them in sight when you're 2 years away. So it was cool to set strength goals because it was an easy start. You can see, strength building 5-10
Right.
pounds at a time. And it was cool to kind of have that goal. And then obviously anybody who's done any sort of competition, whether it's bodybuilding, strongman, powerlifting, any of that stuff, when you compete, it's like a completely different adrenaline rush. Like, so it revamps 100%. So once I did that powerlifting meet, I was so stoked and pumped and loved the atmosphere and loved everything about it. So I was 1,000% ready to buckle down and get going for the bodybuilding competition too. So it worked out pretty perfectly.
For sure. Powerlifting is such a great way for an off-season like competitor to put on some size and some strength. And so I'm glad that you did that. I think that helped you out a lot.
For
Mhm.
sure. And then it's just a great community as well. So
Yeah, for sure. So during your time coaching, what were some like challenges that you had to like overcome, or if we helped you overcome that, like what kind of sort of challenges did you have?
there's a lot more, I think, to it than just the the lifting and the eating. I kind of have a military background, so the regimen of it I really enjoyed. So I liked having to get up every day and go to the gym, and I enjoyed, the strictness of the macro counting and that kind of thing. So I think a lot of people may not enjoy that as much. But for me, my biggest issue, I think, was water tracking for me was new. And then rest. I thought that, the harder the work, the better your results are going to be.
Mhm.
And I think you and Caleb both had to reach out to me and like, dude, I think when I originally started, I was like, I'm going to go to the gym, on an 8-day-a-week cycle. And you guys were like, that's not going to last very long. And I was like, no, I got this. And I think it lasted like a month. And I was like, maybe you guys are right.
Yeah.
So that was kind of eye-opening for me, because I thought it was going to be, the harder you work, the better your results going to be, but you got to prioritize that recovery as well. So that was a big
Absolutely.
learning step for me.
Yeah. I mean, when we recover, it's when we grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, cool. I'm glad that you got to see that firsthand. Sometimes it does taking seeing it firsthand to realize, be like, okay, they're not just trying to hold me back, but they're actually caring about like my health, like physically, mentally, all that good stuff. So
Yeah, for sure.
when it came to, I mean, when it came to chatting with me the very first time, a long time ago, and you were like, F it, let's do it. And what were any like initial fears that you had about like investing in yourself that way?
Um, Man, I don't really know that there was much for me. I didn't feel like it was too astronomical. I guess I had an idea in my head of what I thought it was going to cost, kind of thing, and then it wasn't as bad. And then there was, you break it down into what you're getting and that kind of stuff, and it just makes sense. I mean, if they're, I thought it made perfect sense for what I was getting from it, and then what it did for me overall, and just every aspect of my life. I don't know. It just seemed like a no-brainer. It broke
Yeah.
down in my head pretty simply. It wasn't much of a conflict for me.
Yeah. The value is there for you.
For sure.
Cool. Very cool. Love that. And any last, remarks that you would have for somebody maybe who's like kind of on the fence about like joining or just like pursuing their goals in general?
I mean, you just gotta think about what you want, and obviously what you're doing hasn't got you to where you want, because there's something there that you still want. So
Hmm.
just do it.
Yeah.
You're not going to regret it, I guarantee it.
Did you have any hesitancy about asking for help? You mentioned that you had known about lifting for a while. And sometimes, people are afraid to ask for help, or they think they know what they're doing, or are just going to do it on your own. Like, did you have any of those thoughts or?
I did, for sure, because I think there's a lot of like false information out there, and I think there's a lot of people that just want your money. But that wasn't a fear of mine, because like I said, you were able to have that conversation with me for 2 or 3 days before you even brought up coaching or any of that kind of stuff to me. So that let me know that you're a real person, and you weren't just some bot that was trying to get my email address and my credit card info.
No, I'm very real. Trust
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. So
Oh, cool. No, I love that. I wanted to speak on that too, because I know sometimes just like doing it myself, like, and the ego is a lot, and we've all been there. So
for sure. And then my self-research, I think I was at like, I was at super astronomical low calories, and you and Jen both were like, no, we're going to bump you up way. And I was like, well, you guys are crazy. And then immediately I just started seeing results. So it was, what I had figured out, and the plethora of information that was out there was just, seemed just to be overwhelming, and I'd come to wrong conclusions anyway. So
yeah. Well, cool. No, this was so awesome. I'm really glad that you hopped on here. I always tell everybody, you never know who you're going to inspire, who you're going to like, who you're going to touch. So I appreciate you taking time out of your day to, I mean, you don't even, the cool thing is too, and I want people to understand this, is like, you worked with us for a long time, and now you're like on your own. And that's what we want. Like, we want you guys to be able to learn so much and to be so successful that you do not even need us anymore. So I think it's like speaks volumes to companies who, bring their past clients on, past athletes on, because it really does show like, hey, I'm just glad that you are thriving.
for sure. And I mean, I've been at a point now where, being in a bodybuilding community, I've seen other coaches and how they, coach and that kind of stuff. And I've interacted with other people and their coaches and stuff. And I don't think I'd have had it any other way. I really appreciated who I had and the team I had when I was there. So you guys have been great. And I mean, I'll always be indebted to you guys. I love you guys so much. So.
Oh my God. Oh, this is so awesome. What awesome words. Well, thank you so much for coming on here. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to share my piece with the world.
Yes. Listen, world, listen up, wake up.